Hey YouTube, what's going on? Abyssal Wave here, and today I'm going to be commentating over my Mythic Gul'dan kill video. I'm going to be talking about when to use certain cooldowns, so let's get right into the video. So I kind of hold off on Pillar and Breath. The reason I do that is because I want to maximize it with Time Dilation. Now, originally what you want to do is you want to pop Time Dilation right after the Empowered Bonds go out. Or after the Empowered Bonds finish, because there's going to be nothing to interrupt the Time Dilation until the Liquid Hellfire comes out later, and that's going to come out once Time Dilation is finished. Right here, as you can see, I pop my Rune Weapon. After I'm kind of getting low even with Time Dilation, I wait a little bit because Time Dilation kind of acts like a low-tier Hungering Rune Weapon. I personally use 2 Hungering Rune Weapons on pull here because I'm going to save my second breath till phase 2. I'm not going to use it in a second breath in phase 1, so I kind of want to maximize it, especially with that set of eyes. Now, I didn't use Syndragos' Fury there. The reason I didn't use it there is because we have me save that for second eyes, because we obviously have less burst with second eyes because we run a Survival Hunter, we run an Ellie Shaman, and we ran a Rep Pally at the time. So I use it right there. As you can see, I pre-cast it right as the cast is finishing. The reason I do that is because Syndragos' Fury obviously has a little bit of travel time, and you can actually get all the eyes in one Syndragos' Fury, which is really nice, and it does allow you to, instead of having to line up your Syndragos' Fury to hit half the eyes, you can hit all the eyes and the boss at once, which is super nice. And you don't have to reposition yourself to be in front of the boss, because you will affect the cleave, and you will give Gul'dan these stacks that really destroy the tank, the ones that increase his generation. Now, before that second eye, if you don't have breath up, then what you want to do is, before the eyes go out, you want to use your AMS in order to get a little bit of runic power. Try to get as many runes as possible. What you want to do there is you just want to get as many stacks as you can right there. I probably should have used AMS on the last one, but I was trying to save AMS defensively for this because this was our first progression kill. So I want to use AMS as defensively as possible for me personally. Right here, I'm just waiting at the edge. Kind of had a little tough time there getting out, but I did get out at the end. And then you're just back on the boss. I'm not using breath, but I'm using Pillar off CD. Reason I'm not using breath is because when Gul'dan phases, there's going to be an empowered eye to kill, like almost right off the bat, and I get a lot of cleave on that. So that's super nice. It's better than using a naked breath, and not a naked breath, but a breath that just won't have any cleave, as opposed to a breath that has a decent amount of cleave. So right there, Gul'dan phases right before we get our bonds. We do not get the second ad because we Zerg in the first phase. We don't second pot, but we do DPS as much as we can. We've done it a bunch of times to the point where we're comfortable enough pushing before the second ad. If your guild is 2, then you're not going to be using a second breath in the first phase. If you are getting a second ad, you will be using a second breath in the first phase because you want to DPS that down as fast as possible while still DPSing Gul'dan. So right here, that's where I pop breath. And the ad is coming up in 3 seconds. The reason I use it there is because I want to kind of get my timings down for Breath of Syndragos. So I want to make sure that I have it at the right times for later phases, and especially the Demon Within phase. I don't want to have to hold off on breath because Hungering isn't up or anything, or because my timings are out of sync. So right there, just get as much damage onto that eye as possible. The reason I wouldn't save it anymore is because I want it up for the point where there's going to be back-to-back empowered eyes. So right there, I do use my AMS offensively to keep up my breath, because there's going to be almost nothing that is really going to be beneficial for it defensively. The reason I would use it defensively in the last phase is just in case a Liquid Hellfire does too much damage, like range a little too close. It does happen occasionally. We've had problems with that. In this phase, if you take extra damage, like a Storm of the Destroyer or anything like that, you're dead. So AMS isn't really going to save you that much there, because chances are you're not going to be topped off anyway. So right here is an empowered eye with just Pillar of Frost. So what I'm doing is I'm capping out runic power. That's okay, because the cleave from Obliterate Rhyme proc is pretty insane, and we're going to get a knockback. I knew there was going to be a wins there, giving me a little bit of time to regen my runes. As you can see, my runes are regenning a bit, so it's okay that I did cap out runic power while still using obliterates and stuff like that. That's okay. You know, you should be able to be comfortable enough wasting runic power like that if you're going to be away from the boss for enough time where it would matter, where your runes would regenerate, so it wouldn't really be a big loss. Right here I am saving Cinderghost's Fury for when the eye's up. It's just extra cleave. You're hitting an extra target. Obviously, standard stuff. It's definitely better in the long run. So I thought I could get out for a second there without Wraith Walk, and that last second you saw, I'm not going to make it in time, so I'll just wait. Now here, I wait to Cinderghost's Fury so I can pillar, and so I also wait when the Empowered Eye stops moving, because the Empowered Eye does have these erratic movements where it can move out of range of any abilities that have travel time like that. So I kind of waited until it stopped, or waited until I knew where it was going. Right here, second eye's up. As you can see, I'm using my breath and my hungering. I used it on the first eye. It kind of translates into the second eye though. And then that's really where you get one of those nice big breath phases in the Gul'dan phase. So when Gul'dan hits 10%, it's Zerg time. All that goes out is a bunch of Flames of Sargeras. Right here we get that knockback. If a Winds is coming, it's okay to kind of waste a little bit of runic power. If you're capped, that's okay, because you're going to be, as you can see, I was away from the boss for about 6 seconds. Their runes are going to regenerate in time anyway, so, and since Obliterate is a higher damaging ability, because it also gives Rhyme procs and Crystalline Sword piercings, that's okay. Now, right here, now this is the main reason why I held off breath before, and I used it at 3 minutes into the fight instead of 2 minutes, is because my Hungering Rune Weapon, as you can see, has a minute left. Or my Hungering Rune Weapon, I have 1 charge and I have 2 minutes left. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using my next breath a little bit, like 10 seconds late, but off CD basically. I'm going to use it to cleave the add on the demon, and then I'm going to have a dual Hungering Rune Weapon for the burn phase. So I'll talk about that a bit later. But as you can see, we kill Gul'dan. Now, pots don't reset. Pots can reset if you kill Gul'dan fast enough. You can actually get out of combat for a couple seconds, get that reset, and you can actually pre-pot while also getting a second pot hit, or a second pot. So it's pretty cool. It's a little thing. I saved my pot because we weren't getting the combat resets. You got to kill it really fast. I'm saving breath a second until the ad comes up. Once the Manifest Azeroth comes off, then the ad spawns. Now, as a DK, I obviously grip the ad in. And then we just go to Town Cleaving. Make sure you use your Remorseless. Just Obliterate Rhyme Proc as much as you can. I pop Hungering right there. So I was getting, a decent amount of Frost Empowerment, or Runic Empowerment, so I was able to keep up a good amount of Obliterate Rhyme Proc cleaving when Hungering Weapon was, when I wasn't even using Hungering Weapon, so that's pretty nice, and I was still keeping up breath for these parasitic demons, which is super nice. And right there, I wasn't talking to the boss for a bit. I was kind of zoned out, getting a little bit nervous, getting to the demon phase. It happens. So I did lose breath a little bit earlier than I wanted to. I could have kept it up another like 4 or 5 seconds, but that's okay. Once the ad comes in, obviously use my Obliterate. And sometimes you will waste some runic power. You don't want to waste runic power as much as you can. It's not okay to cap out runic power unless you're going to be out of range of the boss for a certain period of time. We're able to regenerate the runes, or certain other times, which if you guys have a question about that, I will be able to answer that if you have a question down in the comments below. But I'm saving my Cinderghost's Fury for the next wounded, because I'm not going to get a third Cinderghost's Fury. Well, I'm not going to get a fourth Cinderghost's Fury in this fight. I will get one with the parasitic demons though, because during the burn phase, me being able to use that Cinderghost's Fury, first off, on that burn phase, does maximize damage, but not only that, that's going to be synced up with a Pillar of Frost, potion, and it's also going to be synced up with Parasitic Shadow Demons. So that's when you want to use your Cinderghost's Fury. You want to help out with that demon cleave, so people like the Affliction Warlocks or the mages can really just go to town on the boss, and it's helping your damage anyway. So right here, I'm starting to pull runic power. Right here. No, I'm not pulling runic power. Sorry, that is false. I'm not pulling runic power because I'm saving my breath. Now, right there, our Red Pally is supposed to taunt immediately. He did not taunt, So I did end up dying. That's okay. I was out of range of the boss for a bit. It did affect my damage. Probably could have been over 1,000,000 if I didn't die there, but it's okay. It happens. And then right there, I used my AMS defensively because I was slow after that silence and I couldn't get out of range of that green swirly on the ground. So I did use my AMS to get off the dot and to save myself some damage. So right there, we called for a melee DPS the Night Orb because we're getting a Visions of the Dark Titan. Then we pop all the demonic essences, get the triple. We didn't get the quadruple, but we got the triple. Triple's still enormous, it's 150%. So then we just go on the boss. At this point, I did grip that add-in. I shouldn't have gripped it in, but this is like the third time I've seen this phase. So, or the 150% wounded. So right there, as you can see, I used my Cindergross's Fury. I did potion a little bit late. That is a mistake on my part. You want to potion right away. So I did lose out on the 2500 strength for my Cindergross's Fury and the first Parasitic Shadow Demons. So in this phase, since you do have breath, you're going to cleave those Shadow Demons as hard as possible. The issue is you do need to stand in their little circle in order to damage them. So you do want to make sure you're standing in that circle, so you are getting that extra cleave. And then I'm just waiting, I'm just DPSing as hard as possible, just going into this boss. It's okay again to cap out Runic Power during Hungering Rune Weapon. That's fine. I do not get a reset on Remorseless Winter there, but I was getting near the end of my breath. So maybe should have gotten a reset of my Gathering Storm procs there, but or Gathering Storm stacks there. That's okay though. So I'm just DPSing as hard as possible right now, and then the Parasitic Shadow Demons come up, so cleave them down. I just ended breath. 61-second breath is pretty good on the that phase, especially where he's out of range of the boss, or where the boss goes out of the range to go to the other tank, and that's okay. I did bonus roll Shroud of Souls. A 966 on a progression kill is pretty nice. I was happy about that. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please tell me in the comments below. If you have any questions, tell me in the comments below, and I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. Have a good one, and bye.